What is Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Black Shot 3 Long Face Skinny Body. Of course, we are back, still black with some more Fireboard to manga related content. In today's video, we are going over all of the future scenes, scenarios, slash panels, or visions that this guy Kashin Koji, and until further confirmed, but very much speculated, Kashin Koji and Amato have seen in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 36. So we still are on this hiatus. Honestly, I guess, well, we're not getting a chapter until September, so I was about to say, it don't feel that crazy, but we haven't even reached the date we're supposed to get a chapter, and we're not gonna get a chapter. So yeah, it might be dragging on a little bit, but we got all the time in the world, guys. We have all the time in the world, particularly when it comes to this. So we're gonna break down most of these panels and add a little bit of insight or for what we believe Ikimoto is showing us. Now, in chapter 36, we understand that Kashin, Koji, and Amada both had their vision shown to them. It's still, a little bit gray area as whether Amada did actually steal the prescience, but we saw the visions and we saw the reels that Koji was seeing in this chapter. And for the most part, because we understand Koji himself is watching these reels constantly go in motion, turning, and we're just seeing screenshots. So each of these reels have constant motion. So not only the wheels are turning, but the pictures are probably showing different cutscenes like an actual TV show or a movie. So in some of these images where Kashin Koji is looking at Borushiki or Code, I'm pretty sure that entire panel is not just Borushiki or Code, but the events that are actually going down in that situation, right? Because Kashin Koji, in the times that he talks about prescience and the times that he explains future visions, this guy has very pristine details. So that means he even sees the things that people are talking to about themselves, the times that people are maybe thinking to themselves, maybe not hearing their thoughts, but he sees everything and he understands everything. So it's not like the prescience is hiding things from him. So these are essentially just some of the screenshots that Ikimoto as a writer is showing us as a reader, like in this upcoming arc, some of the moments and situations we can look forward to, because previous prescience and 10 paths visions that we've seen Koji has is just also a way for Ikimoto showing us like a glimpse of the future, a glimpse of what's coming in the future chapters. And this isn't even starting with Koji, because we understand the first time Ikimoto took this approach in storytelling was towards the end of part 1 of Boruto, when Boruto had that vision and we saw glimpses of things that were actually about to happen in the upcoming chapters. So essentially, this is what 10 Paths is, at least for the readers, side of view. Like, we're going to be getting glimpses and these are going to be images we're going to see in upcoming chapters. But for Koji's side of view, these are the endless and possible futures, and futures that he is actually trying to avoid or allow to come to fruition. Now, starting off with the first set of visions, obviously we understand how the powers work. Koji is just there in the middle of a whole bunch of film reels while they circle around him continuously and endlessly until the visions ultimately stop and all the information is just stored in Koji's brain. So in the first iteration, right, we see here we have this guy Hadari, and it's kind of apparent to probably say he's most likely looking at Sarada, but we can't assume anything from this first image. But we do see Hadari, and this isn't a panel that Koji is looking at. Of course, we see he's looking at something in front of him, and we go down in the panel and we see all the reels that are actually in front of him. So right now behind Koji is a Hadari panel, and throughout most of these visions, there's a whole bunch of Hadari and Sarada stuff going on. So right here, right below Koji's right eye, we see a claw grime. Now, we haven't seen many claw grimes as of late. A lot of the people who implemented them into their fighting styles would be figures like Ryu, figures like Hadari, but post-Ryu fight, post-Ryu annihilation, with the small exception of one or two here or there, we haven't really seen any claw grimes. So I don't know if they're going to be playing a bigger role, but it might be interesting because right next to the claw arm, we see Sumire, and it appears she's either studying something that has to do with like Boruto's sword, but my best bet, just looking at the image on that computer screen, it looks like a claw grime. So I don't know if this is Ikimoto's way telling us that Sumire is gonna have some type of hand in, or some type of breakthrough, scientific breakthrough in understanding the breakdown and the genetic makeup of the Clawgrons, and somehow use that to their benefits. Because we have the Clawgron, we have Sumire looking on a computer screen, which appears to be a Clawgron's head on the screen, and then the panel next to that, we still see Sumire's arms typing up some things. So either she just made a discovery, or she's about to basically figure something out that's gonna be crazy. Now going back over, right, we see Sarada, and it appears she's looking as something is about to approach her from behind. So this could still be the Code situation, which most likely is, or it could be a different situation post whatever happened with her and Code. And here we see Code understanding these are some of the panels that happen within this chapter. So we see Code, we see his new arm, and when we see a claw mark covering Sarada's face as she's looking back before she gets to fully activate and utilize her Mangekyo Sharingan. And just below that panel, we also see Boruto's eye. So a lot of these things can be chalked up to the fact that most of these events happen within the split second of Code attacking Sarada and Boruto finding out what's happening and trying to fly Raijin there, right? But then moving past most of those events, we have Jura, right? And then also we have a spoon. Some people say a teacup, but Jura is holding something, perhaps eating or doing something. And even just below these panels, we still see Jura's foot, right? We see some more hood stuff with Jura. So it's hard to even guess what's going on with Jura in most of these panels. Then we see Kawaki's eye, and then we see another shot of Hadari, followed by a shot of Sarada and her Mangekyo Sharingan bleeding, with a shot of tree roots right below that shot. So here already, this is post whatever goes down between Code and Sarada. Whether Sarada is using this ability on Code himself, it's hard to say. So either Code just simply drops Sarada off in front of Hadari, or Code somehow, someway got packed up and put out of the picture. However, Sarada is going to be confronting Hadari, and we see Hadari, whether he's reaching out, it's gonna be some type of confrontation between the two. So it's not just gonna be a whole bunch of philosophical dialogue, because as we see, Sarada's Mangekyo is bleeding. So the only exception to that would be if she somehow, someway used these abilities on this guy Code prior to her confrontation with this guy Hadari. Now, understanding my stance in this whole entire situation, the scenario, this guy Hadari has to show more in his plate, or has to be revealed that he never even had everything fully understood in terms of his power output and all of that, because Sarada beat him with the helps, obviously, of Boruto and Konoha prior to her even awakening these abilities that had made her substantially stronger at this current point in time. So Hadari would need some type of power up or revelation that he was never even fighting at full power from the jump. So on these pages, we see most of these things. Now, going back up just a little bit, because I wanted to save this part for last, right? Because we talked about the Code stuff. A lot of this stuff happened within the chapter, right below the Sumire stuff, because I think she's researching something important. We then see Boruto's belt. Then we go over, we see Boruto's hunched over, apparently probably in battle, getting ready to battle, or just about to turn up the battle. And just a little slight Easter egg, just above, we see Damon's hair. So of course we're gonna get some more Damon action, right? And then it appears that Boruto is actively activating his karma seal. Now, we know that each of these things are their own different futures. They're blocked off in their own reels. However, in red, it might indicate that these two are in the same scene together. Now, right above that, we have Sarada's earring, and then we have someone picking up Sarada's earring. What could this mean for Sarada? Now, Boruto himself can be in the process of activating his karma, or in the process of having Momoshiki take over, because we know Borushiki pops up in some of these other panels, but it could be in correlation to whoever is picking up Sarada's earring. Now, is this indicating that Sarada has perished in battle against Hadari or Code? No. Now, y'all could just call it what y'all want, bias, preference. Yes, I know Sarada's my favorite character. I'm not hiding it from nobody, but is she gonna die in this upcoming? No. I believe there's so much more to flesh out with her, and not even just saying that off the strength of, like, bro, main character energy. Like, let's not pretend, bro. Is Boruto gonna die next chapter? No. And even if he does, he's coming back the chapter after, right? So all of that being said, what could be the whole entire story behind Sarada's earring? Is it left behind? So looking at the situation, Sarada has both her earrings on when she's attacked by Code, and Code shoves her through the claw marks just as she's activating her Mangekyo Sharingan. So we don't have no real scenarios to indicate that Sarada somehow, some way left her earring behind or used it as a clue to allow Boruto to find her. What sense would it make? Do we have to have some type of off-panel discussion that shows Boruto also adding his chakra to Sarada's earring just in case the ninja pins failed? But then why wouldn't Code's arm work on gathering up her earring if Boruto's chakra is attached to it? So it only says to say that this is something that is going down post Sarada getting kidnapped by Code. So someone is picking up this earring in whatever dimension or world that they are taking Sarada. So in this case, Boruto somehow, some way finds his way to Sarada's location, but instead of finding Sarada, he only finds her earring. Now, we go below these pages and obviously we see the things that are happening in real time with Code taking the claw marks or the flying rising pins that Boruto marked and gave to Sarada. So moving on to the next set of visions, we have Koji looking over, and then we have more stuff with Jura, obviously, and this time it looks like he's with Shikamaru or Shikadai. Now, the last time we saw it, it was like a spoon. So it's safe to say the last panel, he was mixing something in the cup with the spoon, and now that he's done, he's telling Shikamaru to taste it. Now, y'all know I've been funny, right? And I've been saying this time and time again, the guy Shikamaru got fired. It's been a long day. He's trying to figure out how he's going to go home and tell Tamari he got fired. And you know what I'm saying? And then Juro walks up like, Shikamaru, nah, I've been meaning to meet you. And at this point, what you gonna do, box him? No, nigga, so yeah, let me just go ahead and taste some of that tea, right? I don't know what more else we can envision for that scenario, but it's gonna be interesting, right? So above this, we have Lord Kobu, and then we also have some shots of Konohamaru, the Hokage cloak, and a Hokage hat, right? And then below that, to the left of Jura, we have a shot of Moegi. So some more stuff is definitely going to be going down on this side of the story. As for Kobu and his stance, he's he's a nuisance right now and is very, very annoying. So it's not crazy to think that Shikamaru might be getting fired within these next few chapters, and Konohamaru might have some part to play, not simply saying as a replacement, but more so as like, nah, we can't have this happen, right? Shikamaru's been doing too much for the village. I'm a strong believer and a firm believer that Shikamaru's gonna have some ride or die members for him once he gets fired that are gonna go against the Land of Fire and go against Lord Kobu's reign. And all of this might trickle into the potential war or civil war that Boruto warned Kawaki about so long ago, where he's like, if I tell people the truth right now, half will believe me, half won't, and it's ultimately just going to cause a whole bunch of infighting within the village. And Boruto really, really wanted to avoid that, and it could probably tie into the reasoning why Koji initially wanted Kobu dead, is because he might be the catalyst to the Konoha village having this civil war, all leading back to the whole reason of him firing Shikamaru from his Hokage position, as opposed to the results that Shikamaru has actually been bringing in, right? So even going past all of this Konohamaru stuff, we got some more shots of Hidari and of course Sarada. So she has her Mangekyo Sharingan activated, and it looks like she's gonna be in full confrontation, full battle with this guy Hidari, and it looks like he's reaching out again. Now, so many parallels, hell, we understand, of course, the connections with Itachi, Sasuke, Sakura, and Sarada himself, all of the times where the two fingers was used to touch the forehead as a symbolism of love, symbolism of faith, symbolism of a promise that has yet to been fulfilled, right? So in this case, we have multiple shots, even on the previous panels, of Hidari reaching out, and this one is a little bit more clear. He's reaching out. So is it going to be in the sense of touching the forehead of Sarada, or in the sense of, give me those motherfucking Mangekyo Sharingan, shorty, right? Because this one kind of looks like it goes back in time a little bit, because in the first set of visions we see, Sarada's eye is bleeding, and we still see Hidari reaching out, but it could showcase like what's happening after that scene. So definitely I can say at the very least, Sarada versus Hidari is going to happen, and it's going to be something we're going to have to look forward to in these upcoming chapters. So moving down below, getting to a lot of the nitty gritty, we got some more tree roots, so possibly some more jutsus or moves from Jura. We got some random jonin in the back. Shout out Ada, we see her hair, of course, similar to how we saw Damon's hair in the other panel. And then moving over, we see the star shining bright as always, Himawari. And then right below is where it gets interesting, right? We see Kawaki, and the way this pattern is drawn, the way the shading is drawn, it looks like Kawaki is actually growing his horn. So this can all tie into the fact that for the first time in forever, Amato has fully allowed Kawaki's attack power to reach 100, so this might be the only reason why we have not seen Kawaki's horn up until this moment, because all the previous time the highest Kawaki has ever been in terms of attack power is 85, but he needs to be at 100 in order to unlock his horn. And then we, of course, we see Momoshiki being manifested in Awakening. Now, are all of these happening in the same time and same time frame or scenario? It's hard to say. I don't think at the very least the Jonin, Himawari, and Ada are here, even though we do see some of those panels. But Koji's head looking at both of these panels, and right below that, we have Sarada's belt buckle, and then of course we see Jura's hand. So some more Sarada panels and a more Jura panels, but very, very undisclosed information and details. So it's just letting us know these are these characters, but it's hard to even guess or assume what's going on in those situations or scenario, right? And then we, of course, we see later in Koji's eyes, he's gazing and he's looking, and he gets a close-up and a better shot of this guy. Fully awakened, my guy, Momoshiki is here. So, safe to say, what is he doing here? Why is he even here? Does it have anything to do with Boruto being slumped over in the previous panels? Does it have anything to do with the person picking up Sarada's earring, right? I believe the closest we can tie into is that Boruto is somehow facing off or having a disagreement with Kawaki on how to go about this Jura thing, or maybe he's exposing Kawaki for kidnapping Koji and placing his trust in Amato. Now Amato has 10 pass, right? And Kawaki's like, yo, I got this horn now, so I don't care. None of that. And somehow, some way, Momoshiki manages to take over, right? That's just like a fan theory. That's like fan service. The best bet is this is a situation that's occurring in front of Jura, but it's hard to even like confidently say that, because every time we see Jura in any of these future panels, he looks non-confrontational, he looks like he's chilling, he looks like he's eating or just having a good time. So why else would this guy Momoshiki pop out? As a situation occurred that allowed him the opportunity, like I said, does it tie back into Sarada's earring being picked up by Boruto, him entering in some type of state of despair, possibly under the belief that something bad has happened to Sarada, and this is the moment that Momoshiki was waiting for? Or is this Boruto allowing Momoshiki to take over control in a possible confrontation against this guy Jura? Who's to say that we know? But for a fact, I can say Borushiki and Kawashiki will be popping up, and Sarada versus Hidari will definitely be happening. I can say those things for sure. So let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns, how y'all feel about it. These are all of the future sights and visions that we've seen in Tuba Vortex chapter 36. Let me know if there's anything I possibly missed or anything that y'all interpret a different way, but what are y'all mostly looking forward to seeing unfolding? Holla at your boy, I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black at you out. Yes, sir. Ski.